A lot of people know that in order to lose body fat, then you need to be eating fewer calories or to create a caloric deficit by other means. This is gonna force the body to tap into its own stored body fat to cover its daily caloric requirements. But what's the most optimal way of burning fat? In this video, I'm gonna tell you when does your body burn the most fat.
Fat.
The process of burning fat is called lipolysis, during which your body breaks down triglyceride molecules. They're digested and shuttled into the mitochondria to produce ATP. ATP is the energy currency used to carry out virtually every physiological process, like breathing, walking, blinking, digesting food, and exercising. Your total daily energy expenditure, TDE, is the total amount of energy you're burning during a 24-hour period. This number is determined by your basal metabolic rate, BMR, physical activity, hormones, medical condition, metabolic status, and what food you eat in what amounts. Weight loss is governed by thermodynamics, energy in versus energy out. It is true that calories matter, and you need to be creating an energy deficit in some way to lose body fat. However, there are many other variables and factors that determine how this process actually turns out. Before I carry on, I also have to go through some of the differences between fat oxidation, burning fat, and losing fat. Fat oxidation is the process of burning fatty acids in the mitochondria. It refers to which fuel substrates are used in the Krebs cycle to produce ATP. You can have higher levels of fat oxidation due to eating more dietary fat or while you're exercising, but whether or not you'll actually lose fat depends on your daily calorie balance. Losing fat means you're actually losing body fat. You can lose body fat without burning primarily fatty acids during the day. But if you're at a calorie deficit, eventually you will tap into oxidizing the fatty acids stored in your adipose tissue. Burning fat is just a term used to describe fat burning. What it actually means is context dependent, and people just use it to either explain what their goals are, how they exercise, or how they feel. It's basically synonymous with both fat oxidation and losing fat, depending on the context. When it comes to exercise, then fat oxidation in the mitochondria occurs in the absence of glucose. High-intensity exercise like sprinting and weightlifting exceeds 65% of your VO2 max, which requires glycogen to be used for energy. Lower intensities that stay under 65% like jogging, cardio, or easy calisthenics burn primarily fatty acids because the intensity is lower. So, you can burn a whole lot of fat during exercise but still end up not losing body fat because you're not at a calorie deficit. And you can lose body fat without necessarily oxidizing a lot of fat during the day. The determining factor is energy balance and the hormonal environment that your body is in. But how long does it take for you to start burning body fat? Before your body can access its own stored body fat, you need to deplete your liver glycogen stores as to signal the requirement for burning more energy. The liver controls most of the metabolic processes that determine daily thermodynamics and energy expenditure. When the liver gets depleted of energy, it's going to switch its metabolic gear from running on glucose into provisioning energy with fatty acids and ketone bodies. Those fatty acids will come from the triglycerides stored in your adipose tissue. It takes about 20 to 24 hours of not eating to fully deplete liver glycogen. You can speed up the process with things like exercise, breathing really fast, or restricting your carbohydrate intake. It takes about 60 to 120 minutes of moderate to high intensity exercise to already deplete liver glycogen and convert over to fat burning, unless you literally eat a bagel or drink sugar during the workout. However, like I said already, you don't necessarily have to be burning fat to lose fat. So the most important variable is the calorie deficit when it comes to actually losing body fat. The important part is when your body burns the most amount of body fat to optimize that process. During the day, you're burning calories and increasing your energy demands. However, most of the actual process of burning body fat happens during sleep in conjunction with other hormones. Metabolic processes like fatty acid beta oxidation, cholesterol biosynthesis, and liver gluconeogenesis are all rhythmical. They have a circadian rhythm. It's thought that the regulation of these functions is allocated to periods of minimal metabolic activity to optimize the supply of oxidation of nutrients. Your metabolic rate is the lowest during sleep, wherein you're not burning a lot of calories because of not moving around. However, it's also due to the body wanting to focus on repairing itself from daily activities, consolidating memories, going through autophagy, building tissue, and burning fat. That makes perfect sense because imagine if you just went out and ran a marathon, then of course you may lose some water weight and you're gonna burn thousands of calories. but you're not immediately going to lose that same amount of calories from your body fat. After you've slept and recovered from the day and recovered from the exercise, that's where your body is actually going to burn that body fat. If you're awake, then you have higher levels of cortisol and other stress hormones that keep your body in the sympathetic awake state. In order to actually start burning the fat, it needs to go into a parasympathetic state of more relaxation, and that happens when you're sleeping. This is also the reason why chronic stress and sleep deprivation are common causes of weight loss plateaus and fat gain.
48% body fat.
It is true that you can still be lean and have muscle even if your sleep is suboptimal. However, it's just gonna be much more difficult. Here are a few examples of how sleep deprivation slows down fat loss. Just 4 nights of sleeping about 4.5 hours reduce people's insulin sensitivity by 16% and make fat cells 30% more insulin sensitive. This makes your body less capable of metabolizing carbs and promotes storing them as fat. Sleeping 5.5 hours instead of 8.5 per night results in a lower proportion of energy being burned from fat and more of it coming from carbohydrates and protein. This predisposes you to fat gain and muscle loss. If you won't be able to work out at your best, you just won't be able to progress and you'll hit a plateau. Short sleep durations are also associated with reduced leptin, the satiety hormone, and elevated ghrelin, the hunger hormone. You'll feel less satisfied with eating while simultaneously being hungrier for more junk food. Approximately 70% of the daily pulses of growth hormone occur during slow wave sleep or deep sleep. Growth hormone facilitates physical repair, regeneration, and fat burning. Don't get me wrong, diet and exercise are very important. However, probably the most overlooked aspect of health and fat loss is sleep. If you want to know how to sleep better, get more deep sleep, correct your circadian rhythms, and improve overall recovery, then check out my total sleep optimization video course. It has over 8 hours of content, lectures, infographics, and walkthrough guides about getting the most out of your sleep. But other than that, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you click the like, subscribe, notification bell as well. My name is Seem. Stay optimized, stay empowered.
48% body fat.